Behold, the day of the Lord's anger comes upon you. Seek the Lord. Now here's what you better do right now. Listen to this. Seek the Lord. All you humble of the earth who have carried out his words, in other words, the doer of the word. Seek righteousness. Seek humility. In other words, give up this flesh. Perhaps you'll be hidden in the day of the Lord's anger.
Howdy, y'all. It's your old friend Big Harv here on the Canal Records Routine Checkup, joined by our musical producer, in-house chef, and director of photography, Rye-Dawg of Ryan Greg Photography.
Yo.
That's it. And today we are hyped as hell to say that this episode, our guest will be none other than one of the heaviest hitters from the 914 that is leaving the whole world of hardcore, wanting more, here to celebrate with us their new album, Divine Chaos. It's none other than Jenna and El of God's favorite baby. Give it up! Yeah, so we're here to talk Divine Chaos. We're hanging out. Y'all are hot off the heels of the release. But before we do that, before we get into all that, we want everybody to know that this is the Canal Records Routine Checkup, our monthly podcast where we hang out with wonderful bands that bring the jams and the slams. And before we do all of that, Ryan, I don't know, what time would you say it is?
I think it's time to kick him in the gosh dang teeth.
That's right, baby! It's the Canal Records Review! That's right, we're here with the hardest hitters in the 914, bringing that Hudson Valley delicious hardcore. Jenna, El, how is everything going? How are we feeling about the release of your new album, Divine Chaos? Let's just start from there.
People are really into it, which is cool, which we didn't expect. And like, we were confident about it. We were happy with the songs, but every show we've been playing has been more and more crazy, and people have been really receptive to it, which has been nice.
How many shows do you have under your belt as God's favorite so far?
Is it only 10?
Might be more than that.
I think it's like 13 or 14. Hold on, Jenna has a list. We've been trying. Our goal in the beginning of the year, or when we started, was one show a month. But we've kind of beat that, and now we're doing this a month, which has been kind of nuts.
Yeah, apparently it's 16.
Why, howdy, y'all. It's your old friend Big Harv here to let you know that on this episode of the Canal Records Routine Checkup with our wonderful guest, God's favorite, we ran into some technical issues with the audio in the beginning due to a faulty mic, but we're gonna move forward with that. We're not gonna get angry about it. We're just gonna stay calm, take a deep breath, and get you right into the podcast itself. So apologies for the technical difficulties. And finally, I believe God's favorite just wanted to tell me and let y'all know through me that they're huge fans of Biggs the Cat from Sonic. I don't know why they're telling me that. I don't know if that's just like something they're into. But yeah, they just said like, we love Biggs the Cat. Everybody should go follow him and, you know, just praise him on every platform possible. I really don't know what that has to do with their new release, Divine Chaos. I have no idea how that, you know, titular Sonic character really has anything to do with promoting their new album or anything to do with Kickin' Teeth. But they were really adamant that we should say that. So, yeah. Anyway. Enjoy this episode of the Root Canal Records Routine Checkup. Not routine, routine. Good job, Harvey, big dummy. Anyway, again, God's favorite. They love Biggs the Cat. This is the Root Canal Records Routine Checkup with God's favorite. Enjoy. I can't pause the video from here. This is awkward. I feel uncomfortable now. It's not getting better the longer I don't get up, but I don't know what to do. I'm frozen with fear. Maybe if we just cut to...
Also had somebody fracture their foot at our...
We had a fractured foot and a sprained ankle.
Oh, God.
Holy hell.
Yeah, we missed a lot of that. We heard fractured foot and sprained ankle, which is enough of a picture, I think.
So, okay, so the mic was doing the opposite of what it was supposed to be doing.
Oh, yeah. Hey, all right, everybody's about to complain in the chat, like, oh, it's so in my ear. We know. Give us 1 second. Technology has failed us all once again. We're going to get this thing back on track. And we have the power of editing.
Yes.
We know.
$20 microphone for no reason.
Oh,
It's
well,
about to go up on Marketplace for $18.
made that 10,
Yeah.
baby. So, I think we left off with y'all talking about a fractured ankle at one of your shows.
Fractured foot and sprained ankle.
Yeah, so we're going to
circle
back
that.
that up now that you guys can hear us a little bit better.
Yes, please.
Things that have happened at our shows. Someone's gotten thrown through a table.
Nice.
We had a mirror shattered during a set. Jenna was telling a story. There's a venue in Queens that we keep on playing, and they keep on asking us back, where within the first 4 seconds of our set, like literally just static and feedback, someone moshed through a TV and shattered it, like a flat screen TV. And yeah, so our shows kind of get nuts. We don't expect them to, but they get kind of crazy.
Sounds like you're mixing your love for pro wrestling with your live show there, Al.
Oh, all I want is to play a wrestling show. That's like my bucket list at this point, is to be like, let us play in a wrestling ring while people beat each other up.
A dude from my high school is now on like kind of the pro circuit. He's a pro wrestler that pogos. He's like a pogo world champ. I don't know how plugged in you are to the New England wrestling scene, L, but I forget his name. I'll have to look it up later and get back to you. But
Is it pogo, like the pogo stick?
like he's like, yeah, jumps on a pogo stick and like tackles people or whatever you call it.
That's nuts. Hell
Yeah.
yeah, that rules.
Yeah, I'll send him to you. But he's been
Yeah, please do.
he used to work at Google, I think, and he gave it up to go after his pro wrestling career, which is crazy and respectable. So
It's much more wholesome. Like, I feel it's
Yeah.
you're following your heart there.
yeah,
Really,
oh,
I mean-
totally, man.
Now, so we're talking about the shows a little bit. We're talking about all that stuff. Let's talk about like the record a little bit and just like, how was the recording process overall?
Yeah, let's get into
Real
the
quick, before we talk
nitty-gritty.
about that,
Yeah.
can you guys hear us?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Okay, before we talk about that, I'm so shocked. The person in our band that is on the Discord chat or the Twitch chat that is giving us shit is Billy, who is the last person I would expect to have a Twitch account. I am shocked that Billy has a Twitch account, and I am now very curious on what Twitch streams Billy is watching. Mark is also here. Mark, our drummer, I expect, and Amit is here. The entire band is here. It's just that we all couldn't get them to come over our house to get on camera. Also, you wouldn't want that. We would get into a fight over something stupid.
We wouldn't all fit.
Yeah, we wouldn't fit.
Listen, you can make enough people fit. Trust me. I mean, maybe it's just I'm from like a hobbit house, and Ryan, I've heard us like defined as short kings, you, me, and Omar quite often. So it's
Yep.
kind of like just like that clown car thing. You can make it work, It's just about the love.
I mean, I probably look 6'5" on camera, but
Oh, I tell everybody I'm 6'5". It's how you get by in this world. Anyway, so glad the band's all here. Hey, while the band's all here, if y'all haven't followed Kickin' Teeth on Twitch, you should do that. It helps us out a lot. and helps out the bands, including yours. So that would help much. But back to just like the album itself. We really want to talk about that and get into it. Y'all, from the first EP to this album, there is such a like major jump in production quality. I feel like in the instrumentation as well. Jenna, I was talking to you like between the albums a little bit about just like the vocal quality and like, you know, I like to tell people I'm a singer and you know, I know kind of what that's about. I have no fucking technical expertise or fucking anything about singing, but I do remember you telling me like on the first album you felt a little more nervous, but like this album specifically, I feel like your vocals and just like the professionalism all and like your technique has just like skyrocketed. And then on top of that, like to add to that a little bit, the skyrocketing of that in this song specifically, Snake Oil, dude, there's like towards the end of that song, how are you like able to talk? Like you like shredded the vocals right at the end of that. So I know I'm kind of like talking about that one song, but like, let's just go over it, y'all. Tell us how the recording process was. Tell us how it felt being in the studio this time around and everything like that.
Yeah, like do you have a warm up process and after you're done either in the studio or live, like are you ripped apart or are you like, you know, focusing on technique? And I mean, the first time I heard it, I was like, holy shit, I can't believe that's Jenna. Like it's legit.
Thank you. I don't really have a warm-up process. I know I probably should, but I don't know. I just don't. When we're like sound checking, I'll usually do like a few yells, which serves like a dual purpose. It's kind of my warm-up and it also gets the crowd warmed up because they see me. I don't expect that to come out. So when I'm sound checking and just like yelling at the top of my lungs, it kind of like gets everyone to come in the room and like come closer. So that's pretty cool. And like when I first started after a set or like after recording, like I would have no voice for like a week sometimes. Not like totally gone, but just like it felt torn up and like I was a little hoarse. But as I like play more shows and everything, it doesn't happen quite as often. I don't really feel like I have a technique to it. I just try to like not shred my vocal cords. I don't know. I try to do it from like, you know, my diaphragm, which is helpful. And I also feel like it just produces like a better sound. Like when we recorded that demo, it was probably only, I don't know, my 4th time yelling in the band. We had a handful of practices before, so I didn't know what the hell I was doing. I was just yelling, and just through trial and error and playing a bunch of shows, I guess got better, more confident, which also helps because I'm a nervous, shy person. So getting up there and doing that has not been easy, but it's gotten easier as time goes on. And so just like all of those things combined.
It's always different, like going from the practice space or whatever to recording, because I'm assuming when you're recording, are you holding a mic like you would, or is there a mic on a stand? So it's always different whenever you're playing live and, you know, interacting with the microphone and there's like the raw guttural energy to when you're like sitting down and, you know, singing to whether it's a click track and doing takes over and over. Like how's that process? And do you feel a difference between, you know, going from the practice space to the booth?
Yeah, good point. So we did it with a mic on a stand both times, and it definitely felt a lot different. Like call it my emotional support mic cord, because I usually have the mic in one hand, I'm holding the cord in the other for like 90% of the set. And for whatever reason, that's like my security blanket, and it helps me feel like more confident and just in it. So it did feel totally different while I was recording vocals.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it was also really helpful to kind of be like, okay, no, like I didn't nail that part. I need to like start over from there. And I also, I had COVID when I recorded the vocals for Divine Chaos. Yeah, it was like my first that I tested negative. But I still wasn't like 100%. So like my lung capacity was not all there either. So that was just like another struggle on top of it, on top of like feeling weird yelling in a room by myself. But yeah, it's definitely different than being up there on stage.
Holy hell. I mean, you couldn't like legit, you can't tell you have COVID like in the slightest. So
No.
that's more like a feather in your cap right there. Like, I don't know. And I'm very much the same way. I know I'm like this like big blabbering cartoon man, and like, oh, podcast and all that, like all the time, all these stupid like bits. But I am a very fucking nervous person, and being in like the sound booth, right? And you're sitting there with all of your bandmates just listening to you fuck up again and again and stuff like that. It's just like not comfortable in any way. So I just really want to commend you on that because you sounded comfortable.
And just being in the booth is always hard, right? Because it's not like you're kind of creating the energy when you're not playing with, all your other bandmates. So yeah, it sounds great though. And as far as like the rest of the recording process, like, did you guys do instruments live? Did you guys do, separate tracks of, guitar, bass, drums, etc.? How'd that go?
So I'll speak. You're not an instrument person. One thing to give credit for with Jenna too, it was funny. She was recording her vocals in the booth, and it was like the first time we heard her like in a studio clearly without instruments in the background.
Right.
And I think the other four of us in the band were just like, holy crap, like she was loud, she was angry, it was like vicious, it was super cool. And then in terms of the recording process instrumentally, it was like leagues. I mean, to be fair, the first demo we did, literally, we were 4-piece. We didn't have our second guitarist yet, who was such a big and pivotal part of our group. Like Amit added a lot to it. He added a lot of like tone and dynamics that we didn't really have before, and it like really bolstered us. And also, he's like the best. So getting to be in a room with him and hang out is fun. Also, he's a great musician, so getting to like bounce ideas off of him. And but when it was me, Billy, Mark, and Jenna for the demo, I think we did it live, so it was just the four of us, the three of us playing the instruments like barely on time together, really like feeling it out. I didn't have a guitar tone I was super happy with yet. We're a big fan of the HMO 2 pedal. Our drummer Mark, who rules, he's the best drummer I've ever played with. Sorry, every other drummer I've been in a band with. He's a big metalhead, like a classic metal. He's a big Kiss fan, is his favorite band.
Oh, hell yeah.
Metal. Oh, dude, you get in a car with Mark, only thing you have to ask him about is Kiss, and that's like the next hour and a half is like Kiss fun facts.
Dude, Mark and I would get along so well. Kiss was my first concert ever.
You guys should exchange numbers.
Oh my, Ryan, if that would make Mark's entire day if we came to the Kicking Teeth house and played a live set and then just talked about Kiss the entire time.
Dude, I've been to like 5 Kiss final tours, because they've had like a.
You got to look in the chat right now. There's a Kiss Army comment going there.
Yeah, and just real quick, sorry to interrupt you, Elio. Just so everybody knows in the chat, we're going to have like a question sessions for everybody and respond to the chat. After this, there's going to be like a whole segment for that. So if you have questions that you're like asking now, we're not getting to them because we're hanging out during the podcast. Don't worry, they're coming. There's a space for that. So yeah. Anyway, Elio, back to you, baby.
Oh yeah. So let me get back to the question at hand, because as you both know, I'm a yapper, as all three of you know. When we recorded the demo, we didn't really know what we were doing yet. Like, it literally was just the intention of, I wanted to start a hardcore band. Really, I wanted a band for Jenna front, and the only type of music Jenna wants to perform is hardcore. And so, the Kicking Teeth audience might know, if they've seen like the other interviews that you've had with me for other bands, like pop punk is my forte, and folk punk and all that kind of stuff. I've been in bands for like 15 years, but when I wrote the God's Favorite songs, it was literally just like, I came up with a couple ideas. I had our bass player Billy, who I was recently become friends with, who is like now literally one of my best friends. Him and I, he was in a band that was kind of winding down. I had some free time and I was in a really creative spurt. And I told Billy, I was like, hey, I want to start this band for Jenna to be in. It's going to be a hardcore band. Can you play bass? Because he's a great bass player. And he's like, yeah, I got you covered. Like, he wanted to be in a bunch of different bands. He was like jamming with a bunch of people. He was in a really cool band called Uncle Nemesis, or So-Called Nemesis, for a while. And he introduced me to Mark, who was the drummer of So-Called Nemesis at the time. And Mark and Billy and I practiced, probably the three of us, for like like maybe a month and a half before we got Jenna involved, but we just like put together 4 songs. We're pretty happy with it. It was like 8 minutes of music, and Billy had this guy Brian, who's friends with, who had a home studio, and Billy was like, we wanted to play shows, but you can't play a show without a demo. Who's going to book a band without a demo? So we wanted to go record a demo with Brian, and it was free, and it was 10 minutes from all of our houses. We all lived near each other, so that was cool. What's funny though is Brian, who's an excellent musician and a really talented guitar player, didn't know what hardcore was. Had no idea. It was way above his head. Like, he understood, he knew rock and he knew rap, and he was really a prolific like country artist that did country stuff. So when we recorded the instruments, he's like, yeah, this is cool, this is heavy. And then Jenna did her vocals, and she's yelling in his basement, and he's like, what the fuck is this? This is nuts. Like, this is crazy. So, we recorded, we did like, I think Jenna, what did you do? Like a 1 take?
Like 2 for most of them.
Like 1 take, yeah. 2 takes. Like, we didn't have like vocal parts put in yet. I think that was something that really came through after playing a lot of shows, as Billy started to do backing vocals for a lot of them, and it added so much to the band. And it wasn't until we really played a bunch of shows did we recognize like certain parts Billy wanted to be in. And then we went to a local studio by us called Media Blitz, which is in the town Jenna grew up in, which is cool. It's like down the street from one of your houses.
I lived on that street for 5 years.
Yeah, wow. So it's this guy Dan owns the studio. He's the drummer of the band Grave Heist, who we're friends with, and the singer of Grave Heist, Ethan, is the in-house producer and recording artist there. And I have to say, it was I've been in a lot of studios, I've recorded a lot of bands. It was definitely the most involved recording process I've been part of. Typically, I'm like a hands-off guy with the production. I'll go to a producer that I like what they do, and I'll send them my stuff, and I'm like, this is what I'm going for, and we'll leave it at that. But this was, believe it or not, you can't tell from the quality, this is Ethan's first full band recording that he ever did, where he was from start to finish. Yeah, we were the first band that ever recorded in the studio. We were the first band that Ethan ever did from start to finish, recording the instruments all the way to the end. And for a lot of us, like we've recorded before, been in studios before, like Amit, our guitarist, was a session musician for a long time and knew a lot of recording stuff. Billy's been in bands and recorded stuff. Mark's been in bands and recorded stuff. It was Jenna's first time in the studio. But it was a really big learning process, because for me, it was my first heavy band. So I learned a lot about like guitar tone and building guitar tones, the importance of feedback, vocal effects when they're necessary versus when they're not. And what they don't tell you is you do a lot of learning about what the band is going to be in the studio, and you come to like form a little bit, like you figure things out. So like there's early mixes of the God's Favorite stuff where there's a lot more vocal effects on the vocals, like a lot of call and response and some reverb and delay. And it was a cool experience because we heard it. And for me, I'm like a perfectionist. I hate telling people I don't like ideas. And so I'm like, ooh, like it hit me and I'm like, oh, I don't like this, or this isn't it. Like, this isn't bad, but it's not what we're going for. Right. And Ethan, because he's so new and he knows his stuff, but he was very hands-on, where he was like, tell me what you don't like. Hey, I mixed this like 4 times. What's something you don't like about it? So there was a lot of back and forth between the band and us and Ethan, like the 5 of us together, where it was definitely a learning curve and a learning experience. So it's cool. It makes me more excited for the next time we go to the studio, and we're not sure where we're going to record or what we're going to record. We have nothing written yet. We got to write more. But like, I'm very excited for what's going to go on next and how we're going to take the sound that we made and get more into it, make it rawer. That was the big thing. I think if there was any experiences we had where we like listened and we learned and we liked it, we did guitar reamping, which a lot of metal bands do, a lot of heavy bands do, but we recognized after the process that we really liked the live amp sounds, and that like feedback is such an important part of God's favorite, especially live, that I think the next time we record, we're gonna try to use the live amps because we want to get that feedback, you know. But it was cool. It was a great experience. We're really happy with how it turned out. You know, and people have all said the production was great, so we were excited about that, you know.
Yeah, it's amazing how things always seem to figure themselves out in the studio, and how much you learn about yourself and your songs and the band when you're kind of doing that back and forth process, and you know, putting things in, taking things out, really experimenting. And yeah, the reamping thing is awesome, because I mean, recording direct, you know, finding a tone, recording live is great, but when you reamp, like, you can really dial it in, and you know, send the recording through as many times as you want and get the sound that you want. So that's really cool that you guys did that for this record. As far as like,
it was cool.
As far as like,
Cool.
you know, like, what, when you were writing this, like you said, this is your first hardcore band. What was your, like, you know, inspiration, or what were you listening to at the time when you guys were putting this together? Jenna.
I wanted to be in a power violence band because I was listening to a lot of power violence for the last few years, and I don't know, that's just what I wanted to do. But it didn't end up being a power violence band, which is just fine. I was really the only one at the time that listened to a lot of power violence, so like, it didn't really make sense to expect other people to be able to write it. But I think that like what we landed on ended up being like kind of a perfect amalgamation of all of our music tastes in the band, because we all have such like wide, varied taste. And I think I like it better than a power violence band. So I'm glad that this is the sound that we landed on. And I also think that we're still evolving, and I think we're still able to like infuse those elements without it being a straight up power violence band.
So yeah, it would be the easy thing if it was like, you know, if Jenna sent me a record and sent Mark a record and sent Amit and Billy a record and was like, hey, I want to exclusively sound like this West Coast band from the late 80s where they're in this tuning, the recording sounds like it's in a shoebox, and they're going to play like the fastest they could possibly play.
Right.
Like, and to be fair, like, there's certain elements of our songs where, especially the early ones, where I'm like, I'm going to try to do my take on power violence, but I'm not that good of a guitar player, and I play punk, so a lot of it is just punk.
Right.
Faster or sped up or syncopation, things like that. But it's been I'm not going to say it was a painless transition, because bracing your expectations for the result is a hard process, and learning to grow as a musician is a very hard process. And I think what's funny about God's Favorite is that there are 5 people that like to control every element. I'm not going to say control freaks, because I'm going to be nice to us and give us with kindness, but there's 5 people who really like things going the way we expect them to and like them to. But because we're with 5 immensely creative and unique, not like we're not special, we're just Joe Schmoes, but like, you know, 5 unique perspectives from different elements of music and life and just backgrounds. It's been cool getting to see the songs evolve, and it's been really cool getting to see the elements of each person in those songs. Like, I almost feel I feel a lot warmer and a lot more like love to the newer songs, because there's certain parts where I'm like, oh, that's something Mark thought of, and we put it in a practice and got it together. Or like, hey, that bass tone, like Billy worked like 2 weeks to get his Sans amp to sound the way he wanted it to sound.
Right.
And like with the guitar, especially with the shredding, like, I'm not a shredder. I'm a strong, steady hand with rhythm guitar, and that's like where I'm comfortable. I'm learning to shred, but like some of those cool, like the dive bombs and like a lot of the sweep picking, like that's Amit, tremolo king, like that's uniquely Amit flavoring on top of our songs. So it's cool because I get to see these like I get to see these songs that I had a certain idea for come to life and then get changed by for other people who I respect immensely. You know, that was the fun part. I think it would be a whole different band if we were just like, hey, we're going to be a power violence band. It's got to sound like this. And if you don't like it, deal with it or get out. But it's been a lot of growing and letting loose and being like, hey, let's get crazy with this. Because obviously we're 5 good musicians. We can make a good hardcore song. It's one other moment, too, that I really like that I think about a lot with this band. That really is a moment that I'm going to treasure with the 5 of us. Me, Mark, and Jenna were sitting in the studio, like, hanging out while Amit was recording the guitar part. And he had an idea for, like, a dive bomb. And, like, the most metal I get is, like, pinched harmonics. I can do a pinched harmonic. And I'm like, oh, this is great.
Classic.
But Amit hit this dive bomb in one of the songs. I think it's...
Broken Noose?
Broken Noose, yeah. He hit that dive bomb. And him and Billy, like, dropped their instruments and were jumping up and down, cheering and, like, hugging each other. And I looked at Mark and Jenna, and I'm like, this is what it's about. This is why writing music rules. Like, you know, it was such a nice feeling, you know? It's like, it was cool. And for me, that was a new experience because I never experimented in the studio. I would go to the studio, get what I had down. But, like, I really learned with God's Favorite, like, it's okay to go in there and try, like, 6 different things and see which one is the one you like the most, you know?
100%. Yeah, it's so funny that you mentioned that dive bomb in particular, because before we started, I literally said to Harv, I was like, that's one of my favorite moments on the record is that just low dive bomb and Broken News.
Yeah, we were going off about that. Yeah.
Oh, it's absolutely nuts. Makes me want to punch someone in the face.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, for being, you know, writing all this music that makes somebody want to, like, you want to punch somebody in the face, it seems like it's very wholesome hardcore. And, you know, I mean, kind of like just going off of, like, what Jenna's saying, I do think, you know, like what y'all both kind of said with your experience in the studio and everything going on that end, there is, like, you know, like you're saying, you're evolving, you're still, like, technically a young band. I'm really excited to, like, I feel like this record specifically is, like, the foundational, like, cementing record. And now because everybody's, like, loving it, eating it up, everyone's, like, starting to just, like, understand what God's Favorite really is, the next record, y'all can just fuck around and do whatever, like, experiment with whatever, throw in a little power violence here, you know, a couple dive bombs over here, just, like, really get with it. And it's like, I don't know, it's just from my end and, like, our end.
And also, I don't know if I'm just uninitiated or if this is, like, a regional thing, but can somebody explain the genre of power violence? Because that's something I'm not tuned into.
It's hardcore.
I'm going to use the bathroom while he does that.
Yeah, it's Jenna, let me explain. Excuse me. I just need to I'm a professional.
I mean,
it's hardcore with power tools, Ryan. That's it.
All right.
No, Jenna, go ahead. Take the floor.
Sponsored by DeWalt.
So they're, like, snobs about it. So, like, my explanation is probably not going to be sufficient for any, like, power violence snobs. But, like, for someone who doesn't know what it is at all, I would describe it. It's hardcore, but it's, like, more extreme. There's a lot of sudden tempo changes. So it goes from, like, really, really fast to, like, slow, sometimes sludgier parts. So it's just like a sub genre. It's like a subgenre of hardcore, just, like, taken to the extreme.
Well, what about like, can you do like a couple name drops of power violence bands that I may have heard of? Because I feel like this might be a regional thing, because I feel like I'm fairly tuned into the subgenres of hardcore, but I've just never heard of that in particular one.
Yeah, so can we name some bands just for, I don't know, anybody that might be a new father in the room?
Just for my curiosity.
Slowly just, like, getting out of touch with music in general and, you know, just fading.
Play it for your son. Play it for your son. It's fine.
Yeah, so you're right when you say it's, like, a regional thing, because it originated in California, and, like, purists will tell you that if it's not this crop of bands from the late 80s, early 90s California, then it's not power violence, but whatever.
Okay, okay.
So, like, some of the classics would be, like, Infest, Crossed Out, No Comment. These are all, like, very, very early power violence bands. Some that you might have heard of, like, some of the more modern, but also, like, I guess, I don't want to say hyped because they're really good bands, but that you might see their names come up because a lot of people are into them. Sex Prisoner, Kidnapped.
Okay.
Weekend
No,
nachos.
Weekend nachos.
no kidnapped.
I know Weekend
Um,
Nachos through YouTube. That's like, you know.
So Ryan, your homework after this call is to listen to the song "Jock Power Violence" by Weekend Nachos.
All right, Jock Power Violence. Got it. In the dome.
There you go. While we're kind of like on that note, just about talking about the different scenes, power violence. I mean, I feel like you guys are pretty in like a special scenario. You know, you have everybody, like, I mean, literally everybody. Everybody talks about their hardcore scene being the best there is. Hell, I met a random dude at a bar with my cousin in Cape Cod. His name was Crowbar. We were just having a couple of drinks and he came over to us and he was literally telling us like, no, dude, there's no other hardcore as good as Cape Cod hardcore. And I'm like, what? First of all, what the fuck are you talking about? I didn't know Cape Cod hardcore existed. But that's really not what I'm trying to get to. I'm really trying to get to like what makes hardcore in the 914 and the Hudson Valley and like just Westchester area so much better. Or are you all not like that? Are you kind of like not just one scene loyalist, you know? I don't know. And I've talked with Ryan on this on like a previous episode of this. I think it was when we had Robot Civil War on.
Mm-hmm.
We were talking about how some hardcore scenes have the issue where it is like way too cliquey and like, you know, really this like gross kind of tribalistic thing. Like, I guess really I just want to know what's special in particular about, you know, 914 hardcore, you know, Hudson Valley hardcore to y'all at least.
That I do want to say, because you mentioned like clicky, when we started the band, so we're in kind of like a weird spot. So we're in Westchester, which is technically the Hudson Valley, but like culturally nobody considers it the Hudson Valley. So we're kind of in this weird spot between New York City and Hudson Valley. Didn't really know like what to consider ourselves. Promoters don't know what to consider us. Sometimes we get put on a bill as Hudson Valley, sometimes New York City, sometimes Westchester, just whatever they feel like or whatever they think. But when we started playing shows, we were like, oh, all those Hudson Valley bands, they're so cool. And, you know, they're like established and people like them. And we're not really from the Hudson Valley. They're not going to like us. They're going to think we're lame. No, the Hudson Valley welcomed us with open arms, like immediately. Everyone there is so cool because it's not cliquey at all. Like, if you just go to shows and hang out with people and talk to them, like, they're so friendly. And now, like, I guess we are a Hudson Valley band.
Yeah,
not just because of the location, but just like just becoming friends with everyone up there.
We've been really lucky. People have been really receptive. Westchester's got a special place in music. A lot of people overlook it because it's a half hour away from New York City. It's an hour away from Poughkeepsie. Well, first off, Poughkeepsie hardcore is absolutely insane. Anyone that, if you want to, like, and I'm not trying to, like, be dramatic, like, Poughkeepsie's scary. Like, people kill each other in Poughkeepsie, and, like, we'll play with bands, and it's like, holy shit, what the hell is happening? Like, we'll mosh and we'll keep it going, but it's like all-out wars from Poughkeepsie. Someone's gonna die if you ever play
Poughkeepsie's always been scary. They've always been scary.
Yeah, and like rest in peace the Chance and all that. But we've just been really lucky that people have been really open-minded to us from the get-go. Like, our second show ever was in Kingston at this like pretty heavily featured, like, this bar that has a lot of shows called Tubby's, and a local tattoo parlor asked us to play, and they ran the whole show, and we didn't know literally anyone. Right. It was funny because we played with our friends in the band Press Luck, who I'm wearing their shirt right now, Hudson Valley's finest. They have a sick demo out if you want to listen to it. We played with their old band, and months later, their guitarist was like, how did you guys get on that show? Like, we don't even really know how we got on that show. We almost dropped it. And I'm like, oh, the tattoo shop just hit us up because I guess they liked our demo. And that was like, from that show on, we were like blown away. Like, we played, people were going nuts, people were moshing, they paid us, which was sick. And they were just really receptive. And then we've also got accepted with loving arms to Reason and Ruckus in Poughkeepsie, which is the best venue on earth. Meg is the owner of that venue, and she has been unbelievably supportive of us from the get-go. To the point where the first time we ever walked in, the entire staff of the bar started cheering for us and was like,
wow,
oh my God, it's God's favorite. And it's like me,
That's
Jenna,
dope.
and Mark just like, we're like, what the fuck is happening? And like, we keep getting asked to play there, and we're like, we love it here, but we can't play here every week.
Right.
No, no, you're doing the wrong. Dude,
but
get a residency. That's the thing. That's what all the hip artists are doing now. Play 9 shows a week in 7 days. Just make it happen. You guys, you won't have to like work full-time jobs. It's great.
If Harry Styles can do it in Vegas, you guys can do it in Poughkeepsie.
I know. If anybody reminds me of Harry Styles, it's God's favorite. You know, that's what people are saying.
It's, you know, and I mean, it also, not for nothing, and like Harvey and Ryan, you know this, like Jenna has been going to shows since she's like 12 years old. I've been going to shows since I was like 14, 15. I've been playing shows since I've been 15.
Right.
Like, not to be like celebrities, but you know, we go to shows and it's people we've known for years that have been doing it, or it's like people that even if we don't know them personally, we've seen them at shows for years. So like, it's kind of like the real deal. Like, people have been really nice to us and really supportive. We talk about the Hudson Valley a lot, but Brooklyn's been really kind to us as well. And Queens, forget about it. Queens is like our second home. El Bunker del Diablo in Long Island City, it's like a DIY bar / practice space. There's bands out of there, Furia and Faka, who take care of us every time we play there. They ask us if we want to play constantly, and they go crazy for us whenever we play with them. Like, we had Furia on our release show, and I think a bunch of people took video. So you'll see videos of like the guitarist of Furia punching Jenna while she's singing because he's just losing his mind about it. You know, like, Brooklyn's been really great. Pillow Biters, another band from Brooklyn that we played with, who every Instagram post they're commenting on. We keep seeing each other. Promoters have been really nice. It's just, you know, it's cool, and not for nothing, we try to be the easiest band to work with. That's something I kind of pride us on. All of us, everyone in the band, we want to make a show successful regardless of who's on it or what's happening, so we don't have an ego about it. We help any way we can. A lot of those hardcore in the 914 shows that you're seeing, even some of the ones we're not playing, I'm running the soundboard, and the PA wouldn't even exist there if it wasn't for Billy and Lee from Hardcore in the 914 bringing the PA and setting it up. So it's like, we really get the shows going, and it's cool too because I've always been about fostering community and fostering a DIY setting. And people, from what I find out, 90% of the time, people that complain that there's not enough music in a specific area aren't actively seeking it out or not trying to do it themselves. And I'm not saying everyone needs to start a hardcore band, but you can easily go to a local show, buy a bunch of merch, see a band, or just like talk to somebody and do that, you know? And I think God's Favorite is like the epitome of that too, because we are always at shows. We're always going in from different genres and different everything. We're always at the venues. We're always playing or even going to shows we're not playing. And not for nothing too, Amit and Billy, they run their own printing company for t-shirts called Dos Bad Hombres. So it was actually kind of a cool thing for our release show. Not only was it all of our friends, run by our friends, sound was by me, like all of that, but almost every single band on the bill, except for the touring band from the Carolinas, had their merch made by Billy and Amit.
Wow.
Oh, man.
That's super cool.
That rules.
Yeah, it's cool.
I mean, just like to your point, and after kind of everything y'all are saying, it's really like, and I you know, kind of from what you're both saying, I'm kind of getting this vibe. It's really just like refreshing to see a hardcore scene like this when there are so many clicky scenes. I mean, it just sounds like, one, y'all are welcome with open arms, but it really is like that community aspect where everybody has a role, everybody's friends with everybody, everybody knows everybody. It's just like a wonderful thing to hear when like,
yeah. And like, you know, like you said, you guys been going to shows and playing since you were like 14, 15 years old. I think, you know, 15, 16 years later now, you know, being quote unquote veterans in the scene, like you do kind of know everybody or know somebody who like have mutual friends. So even if everybody's in different bands or there's new bands coming up, like you're almost bound to know somebody, you know, and that really helps, you know, build that sense of community as well. It's just really cool to see, you know, because I've been pretty disconnected from my local scene the last few years, but you know, just this conversation alone is kind of kicking my ass to get back into it.
There's a scene up here,
and you don't have an excuse because you're right by No Fun. No Fun's always got shows going on. Jonathan from Halo Bite usually works the bar at No Fun. There's tons of good bands out of Albany. You know, Albany Hardcore does a bunch. And it's funny too, Ryan. One thing you mentioned, just to show that doing this forever pays off.
Right.
You know, I've been not only have I been playing since I was 15, I've been booking shows since I was a kid. I've been like, I was very lucky that my parents were like, hey, you could do whatever you like. We'll drive you to whatever show you want to go to. We'll buy you an instrument. We'll do all this because, you know, they knew I was doing this and not messing around and doing drugs and doing all that. Helped that I was straight edge for a long time. But I had a really funny moment, like a very full circle moment, the last time we played Poughkeepsie last week. We were playing with this awesome band from New Jersey called Negative Force. And I have a lot of love for the New Jersey DIY scene. I grew up in the New Jersey DIY scene. I've been playing New Jersey shows forever. And there's a pivotal venue there called the Meat Locker. Yeah. And I was talking to the guitarist of Negative Force, and we were talking about like playing shows, and he was around my age, and it hit me. I'm like, wait a second. You've been playing shows for a long time. He's like, yeah. And I was like, you ever play a garage in Butler, New Jersey with a bunch of pop punk bands and ska bands, probably around like 13, 14 years ago? And he goes, yeah. And I'm like, were you like an acoustic artist? And he's like, yeah, it was called X-Pug. And I'm like, holy shit, I used to book you. And it turns out, just totally unrelated, 15 years later, 14 years later, I'm playing with a guy that used to play my drummer's garage when we were like 17, 18. And here we are a bunch of years later in Poughkeepsie doing the same stuff. It's cool. You know, it's a cool feeling, and it makes me happy because not everyone sticks around, and not everyone should stick around. Music's exhausting. If you're tired of it, don't do it. But seeing those people that I know have been doing the DIY grassroots thing for 15 years and they're still here doing it with the different band, like, it's awesome. Really cool feeling.
Yeah, it's amazing.
And that's going to happen full circle again, another 13, 14 years from now,
exactly,
I'm sure.
Exactly.
And all the years in between. That's super cool.
Go ahead. No.
Yeah, I mean, just making that connection after all those years and kind of just remembering that probably nugget of a memory. That's wild.
Ryan, do you want to hear a very nice story, a nugget of memory of you that I have with my DIY music career?
Oh, man. All right. Shoot.
You know, you taught me how to string a guitar?
No way.
Really?
Did I?
Yes. So, embarrassingly enough, from like 15 to 18 or 19, I did not know how to string a guitar. I would play the strings until they would break, and I would bring it to my music store and say, please help me. I think they tried to teach me once, but I gave up. But I used to be a night host, which was like a job where you let people into the dormitories late at night. And there was one night where Ryan and a friend of his were hanging out, and Ryan's an excellent guitar player, and so is this guy Mike. And I was telling you guys, like, I don't know how to string a guitar. And y'all couldn't believe it because at that point I was playing for like 5 or 6 years. And so you both sat down and taught me how to string my acoustic guitar.
How do I not remember this?
Were you drunk?
Very, very possible.
Maybe.
To tell you the truth, if I was night hosting, it was probably 1 a.m, but yes.
Yeah.
Wait.
What?
I thought you were a bass player. You know how to play the guitar? Really? You learn something new every day.
Played bass for you.
Yeah. Yeah,
I was gonna say Ryan's a better guitar player than he is a bass player.
I was so embarrassed when I asked him to join the band like, first of all, Ryan and I didn't really know each other. Like, we didn't, besides like the Mic Club and stuff like that. Like, really,
you like hit me up randomly.
Yeah,
and I was like, oh, this hot shot. I was on the Mic e-board, the Music Industry Club e-board. You want me to play bass? I don't even have a bass.
Dude, I was so nervous to talk to you about. I'm just like, this guy's like a local metalcore legend, and I'm asking him to step down from guitar to bass. I thought you were going to kick the shit out of him.
Honestly, I was stoked just because, it was another opportunity to play. So I went out, bought a bass, and we did the thing for a while.
And then you taught a man how to string a guitar.
Yeah, I am, like, I feel like I kind of pride myself on having a decent memory, but I'm going to have to, like, really think about this one. Because now that you say that, like, I'm getting like a little flicker of a memory, but Yeah, wow.
That's
I have some other memories of you, but I'm not going to say them on a public stream.
no, you know,
I remember the acoustic guitar that you played though. I
still have that acoustic guitar.
Nice, man.
Listen, yeah, we'll save some of the memories. Some of us are parents, some of us have jobs now. It might just, might be better for everybody involved here.
Oh, speaking of the parent thing, to go back to a point that Ellie made earlier, I was playing both Drain and Paleface Swiss for my son today in the car, so I do expose him to some more extreme music.
Jenna's baby cousin really liked the band Fury for a while.
Oh yeah,
She did.
And then a very funny story was World I Hate was playing on TV. They're also Ryan, you would like World I Hate. They're a power violence band, but they got some metalcore influences. But they were playing on the screen, and the singer was doing this like ground pound move, and the baby cousin saw it and then started doing it the same exact way. So
3 years old and moshing.
So
That's amazing.
hardcore for the children.
Start him young.
Yeah, right.
So another question, and this is kind of the opposite end. I know y'all were talking about how wholesome the scene was, how welcoming everything is, how great it's been, with God's favorite, and just like the glow up and the startup of all this stuff. But I think just being in a band for anybody, no matter if you're like the major level, if you're indie, wherever you are in whatever scene, it has been tougher in some ways. Like touring's become everything's become more expensive, but touring's become more expensive. Just the cost of like putting on a show itself has been getting more expensive.
Yeah.
So kind of to like really just be a huge downer and take it in the opposite direction. What would y'all say? And like, you're also just like playing so many shows too. And I think it's like really valuable coming from y'all who are essentially, in my mind, you're essentially touring. I know they're like, weekends or one-off dates, but the amount y'all are actually like just playing shows and gigging, it's a ton. So from your experience, like what would you say is the hardest part or most difficult part about being a hardcore band in 2025?
We're really lucky. It's a good group of people that really only care about playing shows. We're doing this for fun. So like we all have full-time jobs. We're all committed to those full-time jobs. The jobs come first and our lives come first. So it's like, it's been pretty simple, show-wise. There's been some, like all of them have had decent attendance, but there's been some that are less than others, but we still play and we have fun. We like hanging out, which is also helpful because we get to hang out at the shows, so we get to see each other. But, it's been pretty smooth sailing, like knock on wood. We've had no major issue. And listen, it's not for everybody. It's not easy. Like even just saying like, hey, we're going to play in Brooklyn on Thursday. You're going to get home at like 12 o'clock at night, and then you're going to go shower and go to bed and then wake up at 5:30 to go to work.
Right.
Like it sucks, but this is what I want to be doing. So like, I'm a high school teacher, so like I'm usually busy every weekday, but I'll still play a show, especially if it's in Brooklyn. Our bass player Billy works for Trees, is an arborist, so it's like whatever gig he's playing, he's going to be up in the morning working on Trees. Our drummer Mark, Mark I feel the worst for. I think Mark has the worst schedule out of all of us. He is a saint and works with dogs at a animal shelter.
That rules.
Yeah, he's the best. His job rules. They always post pictures of him with these dogs, and they're obsessed with him. But because of his schedule, he works every Friday and Saturday and Sunday.
Right.
So Mark's a crazy person, and we'll be like, hey, we're going to play in Kingston on Saturday. We're going to get home at like 2 in the morning.
Later than that,
3 in the morning. And then you're going to go home and you're going to be up at 8 a.m. to go to work the next day. And he does it because he just loves playing,
Wow.
Yeah, I mean,
how do you work at an adoption center? Is it an adoption center?
You tried to send me away once.
I just don't understand how you work with dogs all day and not just take them all home for yourself.
Oh yeah, it'd be brutal.
I think he wants to.
Man, that's a good guy right there.
Until all the dogs go missing.
Yeah, right.
All right, so we talked a lot about like the live experience, everything going on there. We talked a little bit about the recording, but let's like actually dig into like the meat of the album just a little bit, and then after that, because I know we're kind of running along in the tooth. Get it? Because
My
the dude
God.
teeth. Oh, it never ends. Oh,
This guy.
oh, so fun. Oh, anyway. Yeah. So let's actually talk about the album a little bit. Y'all individually, y'all's favorite songs, each one of you.
Said the last time I was asked this question, because I've been asked this question a few times, but at this current moment, it's probably Broken Noose.
That's also my favorite.
I think that's my favorite too.
Oh, I'm the odd one
As
out.
of now.
I really love Dead by Dawn slaps. I love Bigfoot fucking rules. I'm a big fan of Bigfoot as well. I'm trying to think of what Snake Oil, dude, the way y'all like shred at the end of that's really sick. Oh man. Oh no, what was Emotional Incest?
Oh yeah.
Dude, that song fucking rips. Like, that's my contender right now.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say it.
Fun to play. That's my big rock star song live.
Oh yeah,
I think that might have been what I said last time was my favorite.
yeah. So on that too, like I kind of wanted to ask, like, same thing except in the live scenario. What's your favorite song to play live?
Probably Emotional Incest.
Yeah.
Mine's probably Big Boot because of like the stompy part that we have. It's like one of my favorite parts to sing or yell or whatever and to see the crowd's reaction. So
That's usually the song. Like, it usually takes the crowd a minute or like a song or two to warm up. But by the time we hit Big Boot, that's when people go nuts.
Hell yeah. No.
Elio, in Emotional Incest, when you have your big rock star part, what's your go-to stage move for that? Do you do a lot of this
Power stance.
that thing?
For the isolated guitar part, if there's a monitor, I put my foot on the monitor.
Ooh, that's a good move.
That's you got that solid knee bend up there, the power stance, if you will.
You can't go wrong.
My wife.
I do.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
I do write guitar parts mainly for the fact so I can jump around while playing them.
Of course.
Our guitarist Amit always cracks me up because I never met him before this band, and he like came up to me or was like at a practice. He's like, "You have so much swag while you play," and I'm like, I don't think anyone has ever described me with the word swag, but I love it. Like, that rocks. But you know, Harvey knows too. I absolutely go. I go ape shit when we play. It's a really big release for me. So I usually drop my guitar a lot because I don't have strap locks, but you know.
Ooh.
15 years later, you don't have strap locks still.
Nope. I'm cheap. I'm still playing, Ryan, I'm still playing the same guitars from high school. You're lucky it's not still the same cables from high school. I'm playing a guitar head I bought 10 years ago. You know, I'm a creature of habit.
You know what I did back in the day for like DIY strap locks? I would get rubber washers, and I'd put them
from Home Depot, right?
Yeah, and they. Yeah. I'd still drop my guitar occasionally, but you know it would keep the strap on.
That's
I gotta do
a little bit.
That's pretty clever. I used. Oh, go ahead.
Can I give a shout out in the chat real quick?
Oh yeah.
Am I allowed to? Sorry, I'm a big Twitch guy. I love watching Twitch, so I know how this works. Shout out the Cryptic Throne Designs. This guy from Australia, we don't know him at all. He rules. He posted when we put out our demo, which I'm embarrassed to listen to now. Jenna says it too. We've thought about taking it off streaming, but the artwork our friend Jordan did is so good that we're like, we got to keep it. But Cryptic Throne posted us on his Instagram as like one of his EPs of the year or demos of the year, which we were like blown away by. I was like, what the?
Wow.
But it turns out that he's a sick graphic designer. He's really good, and he was making these. We thought he was like unachievable. We were like, oh, this guy's done work for like Brody King and Aleister Black, these wrestlers.
Whoa.
Like, he's made artwork for them. He's done stuff. And we were like, this guy would never do art for us. That's crazy. And we asked, like, Jenna came up with the name Divine Chaos. That's all her. And there's like a overtly anti-organized religious theme in the record. And
that's my favorite.
If you go to Cryptic Throne Designs on Instagram, that's all of his art. A lot of it follows those themes. So Jenna brought him to us and was like, I really want to use this guy. And we all agreed. And he was so easy to work with. He was so quick. The turnaround was like insane. He literally got it to us in like 2 days. he was affordable, which was nuts. Like we thought, like we were like, and not even like, oh, he's gonna be so. We were ready to give him money because his work speaks for itself. But he was so cool for us and so cool with us. I actually hired him. Well, he's doing it as a favor for us. He's doing a flyer for me for an August 9th show that I'm running in Croton. We're sending him a care package with all of everything. He's getting literally everything we have. He's going to get a copy of. It's going to cost us an arm and a leg because Australia is apparently impossible to ship to. But
wow,
Cryptic Throne rocks. If there's one Instagram account you follow after all of this, it's Cryptic Throne Design.
Yeah, just gave
Also,
a follow
shout
just
out
now.
Hell yeah. Also, shout out referee Clark Feldman. That's my boy. He rules.
Yeah, everybody watching now, if you haven't followed referee Clark on Twitch, please go right now. He's just like a saint, a wonderful human being all around. He's supported us. He's shown us some of the ropes too. We were Twitch and streaming like last year, and just like one of the most welcoming, wholesome dudes you can meet. And the amount of work he does, like for St. Jude's Children's Research Hospital, like all the stuff he's done, just incredible. So we love you, Clarky boy, and everybody watching later on YouTube or watching on TikTok or where you're ever watching. If you're listening to the podcast on the Patreon version, Spotify, Apple Podcast, go look up Cryptic Throne Designs and follow them over on the IG. That's a big help.
Sounds like
Also,
you have to have a couple shows in Australia now, huh?
I would do that in a heartbeat. But also, another God's favorite warning: if you like Biggs the cat from Sonic the Hedgehog, you're dead to us.
No,
You're not allowed to like us. You're not. If you like Biggs the cat and you're like, oh, I love God's favorite, I will fight you at a show.
What's your how could you not like Biggs the Cat? He has that wonderful fishing mini game. Everybody loves it. He's incredible.
It's a line in the sand, man. Don't cross.
I mean, yeah, I don't want to end the podcast now. That'd be pretty rude, but we can talk about this after. This will be in the bonus. We'll talk about this after this. If you guys are all right, we're gonna ask you a couple more questions on our end, just because we know everybody's working tomorrow. It's getting a little later.
Anytime you cut us off, please let me know because you know I'll yap. I just like seeing you. Well, not seeing you. I'm staring at a blank screen, but I like talking to you.
We should have just put up a picture of us, like a freeze frame of us as the picture on Discord. It would have been real great.
You could have printed out a couple pictures and just, taped them to your table.
That's what I usually do with our guests and friends that I don't see for a while. I just print them around the studio and just like have conversation with them. Like, I Am Legend when he's in just alone talking to the mannequins.
Oh, yeah.
It's a lot like that. Laura is definitely still here and not going to divorce me. It's going very well, everybody.
I don't even want Ellie to know what the picture I have printed of him looks like.
Oh,
I've had it for years.
Speaking of Elio, really hot button question right here. Is the new Pixar animated film Elio like a biopic of your life?
I'm going to give you my glorp.
Are we allowed to say that on Twitch? What is that? What does that mean?
Elio's got glorp.
Okay, well...
he must have been first in line to see it. I have not seen it yet.
I feel like it's hardcore lingo that we just don't know. It's like 914 specific stuff. Like they like to...
Take your son. Give him my glorp.
I don't know if this is okay anymore.
I don't know how to respond.
No, we can talk for hours though, and we want to. So let's do a couple more questions because I really want to open it up too for everybody that's like hanging out in the Twitch chat. I know everybody's itching to ask y'all some questions that we haven't asked. So let's do like, I don't know, 3 or 4 more. Then take a quick little break. We'll play whatever songs y'all want to play. I have some queued up, but I want y'all of God's favorite to decide what we're playing on that. But before we do that, let's just take a look. We talked about the screams at the end of the Snake Oil Snailsman. It's the Bikini Bottom version. It's a whole fucking different thing.
Hold on, real quick. Power Violence fun fact. There is a SpongeBob-themed Power Violence band called Goo Lagoon. Also a good band to watch.
That's fucking sick.
You guys are going to have to make a list and send it over to me of all these bands I got to check out. Because
Ryan, if you promise me you'll listen to them, Jenna and I will make you a list.
I swear to God I will. Make me a Spotify playlist and send it to me.
Yeah, he swears. Ryan promises a lot of things, so it's...
Do I not follow through?
I don't know about it every time, but it's okay. Anyway, y'all, real quick, let's just get some plugs for... You've already kind of done a little bit of it throughout the podcast, but some other bands that y'all wanted to shout out and plug before we go into the question section.
Press. from the Hudson Valley.
Our boys. Pressed Luck. I would die for every member of that band. They rock. They're the best. They're gonna be huge. You need to listen to them.
Condemned to Suffer, also from the Hudson Valley.
Shout out to Stevie on Table. He put out our tapes. He's the best. He's like the nicest person I ever met. He puts out like every Hudson Valley hardcore band or hardcore adjacent bands records on tape just because he likes making tapes. It's insane. But he's also in a bunch of good bands. Trying to think more Hudson Valley. Exodum was really good.
It doesn't have to be just Hudson Valley. It can be any hardcore bands you guys just love and want to support. Tri-State, like it can be.
We're going through Harvey, it's a whole list. We're going through it.
Okay, all right. Where's my book?
Exodum is great. They're a grindcore band we played with that I really like. Trying to think who else. We're playing with Unfortune Teller, who's sick. That show's not announced yet. It's going to get announced. They're from the Hudson Valley. They're really shreddy and like different. I like them a lot. The other big band for us, there's two, Mickey's KREW and Human Trainwreck. Our boy Mike fronts both of those bands. He's like the nicest person in Westchester. We met him at a show and he's just been like, he engulfed us with open arms. Him and his wife Becky, who's a writer, she wrote the review for on In Effect. She's a writer for In Effect. She does her own zine and everything. But they've been cool because they're a little bit older than we are, and they've been teaching us a lot about the local history of hardcore. And there's been a lot of hardcore bands in Westchester we never knew of.
Very cool.
And they've been playing shows for years, which is cool. And that was a fun part of our release show, is that not only was it all of our friends and bands we've been playing with, but it was a lot of old heads who used to go to a lot of shows in the 90s. So, like, not to be a little mean, watching a guy in his 50s with a giant beard just beating up all of our friends was like a fun experience. Queens bands. Who do we want to shout out from Queens?
Furia, Baca.
The boys. Our Las Familia, right? Is that the right way? No.
I don't attempt to speak Spanish.
Fanboys. Of course, Felipe and Ed. Fanboys, they're a power violence band. There's also Frothing Mad is another band Felipe is in. Sleepy Ed is the guitarist of Fanboys. He's also a professional wrestler for GCW Wrestling. He rules. Pillow Biter is friends of ours from Brooklyn. Worm Teeth, another friend from Brooklyn. Cheap Death. Human Taxonomy.
I was going to say that next.
Human Taxonomy, they're another band that we play with. Really good friends of ours that always come out and mosh for us, which is nuts. They're not in a band yet, but just a huge shout out to our boy Micah, or our person Micah. They're the best. They're like the #1 fan of God's Favorite.
They gave us our name.
They did give us our name.
Came up with God's Favorite, so they're an honorary member of God's Favorite forever.
They're also our mosh crew, and they just beat the shit out of people when we play.
Yeah, before you guys had the name God's Favorite, what were the other names kicking around the tank there?
Stop saying kicking and teeth, and please.
I was actually thinking about this today. There's a book. I wanted to do this, but they were already a band, so we couldn't. And like, not like a band that like died out. Like, I think they're still a metal band. There is. Oh my God, what's the book? There's some sci-fi book I really liked where there was like this creature.
That one.
The book was called Hyperion. It's been a book forever. But there was like an evil creature that like ate people and slowed time. It was called like the Shriek or the Shrike. And I was like, we should name our band this, but there was already a band.
They always beat you with a franchise and a licensed IP. It's just how it goes.
That's fine. We also were trying to think of anything with the words exterminator or pesticide because Billy, our bass player at the time, was an exterminator, and we thought that was sick.
Oh my, Billy, please come to the Kick and Teeth studio. We've been dealing with mice for months, and now we have. It was great. So like
now flies, right?
Now we have like a swarm of flies. We've done everything. It's really sick because like we want to have all these guests over, and everything was like working real smoothly. And then the other day when we were just like gaming on the side, It was you, me, and Levi just gaming, and a mouse got caught in a glue trap up in the corner, fell onto my desk, but shit all the way down. So like shit on my work computer and the stream decks. And then Levi made the great joke of
2 new names: shitting all the way down and swarm of flies.
Fly is a good one.
oh, dude, maybe we should just go 914 hardcore and that
Swarm
should
of
be us.
flies. That's our band.
Oh my god, hell yeah! We got the kit in the back.
Well, also, Mark I've made the joke to Mark because he's obsessed with Kiss that we would just become Kiss 2.
Oh my god, that rules. Kiss extra, kiss the squeakquel.
I
Kiss
need
Plus.
to know how many original Kiss vinyls that Mark has, because I inherited all of my father's, and so I think I have almost every one.
And now I will pass it on to my son.
And they will be passed to my son. They'll be kept in pristine
Don't tell
condition.
Mark that, he'll rob you.
He doesn't know where I live.
I
Yeah.
can give it away. We could accidentally just reveal that. We did a whole podcast where we showed the interior of Ryan's house. Do you remember
Oh,
that?
shit, we did.
Yeah. Anyway, so let's just slowly get away from that subject to keep Ryan safe from Mark. Maybe you guys we'll do a special bonus episode where it could just be Ryan and Mark sitting down doing a one-on-one about Kiss. But in the meantime, I think we should do a one-on-one with all of you watching at home. Remember, this is the Root Canal Records routine checkup here with God's favorite. And now, everybody on Twitch, it's your time to ask your burning questions. We're going to play some songs for about, I'd say like 5 minutes. So feel free, flood the chat, give us your questions. We're going to read them back to God's favorite, get into it for a little bit after that. And then, we're going to say bye after that. So, y'all, God's favorite themselves, Jenna, L. What song are we starting off with on the album during this little intermission here?
Broken News.
That's so crazy. That's a song that's already on
Gotta
Spotify.
do it.
All right, y'all. All right, Twitch, let us know how you're feeling. Let us know what's going on. Anything you want to ask God's favorite. Now is the time. You've got 5 minutes. Well, you know what? I'll be gracious. I'll give you 6.
That's like a quarter of a record.
Yeah, it goes pretty fast. So hurry up. Flood it. All right, y'all. We're going to take a quick break. Everybody, please enjoy Broken News by God's favorite. All right, y'all, and we are back with God's favorite. Thank you for hanging for the intermission. Thank you for shooting so many questions up in the chat. Just want to say to everybody watching on Twitch or watching later on YouTube or anything like that, how it kind of works here is we will answer our Patreon questions first, and then Twitch live chat will answer you towards the end of the podcast. Don't worry, if you have something to say earlier in the show, we're going to get to it. But for now, let's kick it off. Y'all want to know your burning questions for God's favorite. Let's start with Cryptic Throne Designs, the Australia fella. I told you from the start, I love the title Divine Chaos, but where did the inspiration come for the title?
Popped into my head because I knew I wanted something related to like religious imagery. And I mean, I think our live shows are pretty chaotic, so that's kind of just how it came together.
And you would categorize both of you as staunch Catholics, right?
Don't listen to our lyrics if you're staunch Catholic.
I'm actually Mormon. I wear the special underwear.
Dude, let me know where you can get a deal on that. I feel like it makes you play shows so much better.
You can't take that underwear off, right? Or you have to like, I don't know the rules. You have to like always wear
I
it.
don't know.
I mean, I guess you're always wearing underwear anyway. But
I mean, people play shows without their underwear, and that is frowned upon.
I played a show in my underwear before.
Whoa.
Yeah.
You played a show. Oh, I really listen. I know we're talking about like here to support God's favorite, and we love them, but this is a really big Harv gets heated pet peeve of mine, and I see so many people do it. But I'm going to point out 2 specific individuals who we need to just like take off, like just stain their reputation, bring them down, burn them to the ground. 1, the singer of Mayday Parade, and 2, Ryan DeMarco. Both of you all have played shows in bare feet. Are you disgusting? Can you just like take a minute to really think about that? A bar floor, when you're playing on a fucking dive bar floor and the stage is between the bathroom and the bar.
It doesn't.
What
matter.
are you thinking?
You got the music flowing through you. You don't care about what you're touching with your feet.
You're gonna have other stuff flowing through your feet. Like, no, that's not right. Sorry, y'all. I just kind of had to go off there. That's really been sitting with me for a while. Anyway,
Derek from Mayday does play only in bare feet, right?
it's weird. It's
is
not a
kinda
good
weird.
thing. It's not something we should encourage.
He probably has like really calloused, manly feet.
I don't. What's really the reward? Is that worth it?
I don't know. You can walk the Appalachian Trail without shoes.
Yeah, because when I think about somebody walking the Appalachian Trail, it's Derek from Mayday Parade.
He looks like he could do it.
Okay.
He's got that vibe.
Anyway, all right. Sorry, y'all, to get off on a little tangent there. I'm not angry in any way. From Gumball Soup, when are we going to work on getting our Diet Coke sponsorship?
Damn.
I'm
I'm
drummer.
drinking a knockoff DC right now. Shout out Summit Cola, Diet Cola from Aldi.
Jenna's a big Diet Coke.
I'm gonna have some Diet Coke after this.
Oh, yeah. Actually, speaking of that, isn't it the new merch is like the Coke font for Divine Chaos? Is that it?
Yes. That was like something I wanted to do from day one. I actually had that idea for Drug Church. I wanted Drug Church to make a Diet Coke rip. But obviously that didn't happen. And then when we were naming our album Divine Chaos, I was like, holy shit, we could do the Diet Coke rip. And that's like the happiest I've ever been.
So
That's a lawsuit waiting to happen.
yeah, you're oh man.
Big Soda coming after you.
If we jump on the right side of this whole thing, we can make some cheddar. Screw God's favorite. I mean, love you guys. Anyway, where can we get the merch? Speaking of, is it only at shows, or are you guys like putting a site together?
Come to a show.
But also, if you tell me what you want, we'll get it printed for you. I just shipped out a few things to various people that
Yeah.
were not able to come out to shows. So
Yeah, you just gotta DM us.
yeah, you DM God's favorite or me.
And that's the best.
Go ahead, El.
That's the best part about having our bass player and our guitarist make all our merch is it's like direct to order basically. That's kind of the reason why we don't have like a BANDCAMP, like we don't have merch on BANDCAMP for that excuse. It's so much easier communication wise for us for someone to DM Jenna and she could text Billy in a minute and be like, hey, can you make a large Divine Chaos shirt? You know?
Right.
Yeah, I feel like we kind of let y'all down by not ordering them ahead of time and wearing matching Divine Chaos shirts.
We should have. I feel like with the
Billy says in the chat the website's coming soon.
nice.
All right, let's go, Billy.
I feel like between the name and the shirt with like the Coca-Cola font, throw that on an Etsy shop and people will just buy that without even knowing
Yeah,
Oh.
they don't
what the
even
band's about.
favorite.
There you go. Get
You guys are gonna sell
Yeah.
out.
a little bit of side cheddar.
Look, I'll
right there.
only take 10% for
There you
that
go.
idea.
Like any good agent would. But really, if you're an agent, you're supposed to, like the rule of thumb, you got to push to 20 as a whole.
No, I'm nice, man.
No, I'm your friend. You can trust me. Oh, great. Next question from our technical producer, Papa Old Bones of Bongo Goldman. El, what's your current go-to energy drink?
Energy drinks anymore.
Oh,
Mm.
wow.
How long has it been?
It's been over 2 years.
Really?
Oh no, it's gonna be 2 years in September. I just drink coffee.
I was about to say that's energy drink light, but no. Listen, let's get a round of applause in the chat. 2 years off energy drink. Let's go.
2 years sober. How are you like a coffee snob now? Do you like roast and grind your own beans, or do you just
I
drink
drink a
whatever?
lot of Dunkin' Donuts.
What was that? Dunkin' Donuts?
Yeah, I drink a lot of Dunkin' Donuts.
Nice. All right.
That's what Laura will like default to the Dunkin' now, but she's like every time I get anything that's not just a black coffee, it's like they just put way too much cream or sugar in there and it makes her sick.
Yeah. So you're
Yeah.
definitely Dunkin' over Starbucks.
Yeah,
All
just
right.
a Dunkin' black ice cold brew, and I'm happy.
Black coffee is the way to go. Who needs the extra calories, right?
Me.
Exactly.
Oh my god. Yeah. Who needs calories?
All right. Looks like we got referee Clark here. What's everyone's favorite go-to hoagie?
Clark, you would. I love you.
Good question.
A wedge, first of all.
Wedge. That's a Westchester thing. It's a wedge, not a hoagie.
Oh, okay.
I-
Submarine.
What do you just? I don't know. I mean, all right. So I'm from Long Island, and you're from up around here.
Yeah.
I
Upstate New York for those who don't know.
Salt Lake City, where Kickin' Teeth Studio is based.
That's why we're Mormon.
Yeah, that's exactly it. All comes together. But did you grow up? I just called it a sandwich, maybe a sub.
A sub. Yeah.
Same.
Yeah.
Okay. So you
grinder. I've heard grinder before.
New England.
That's a New England thing. Yeah.
But a wedge, that's a shoe. That's not something I want to eat. This doesn't make sense.
Yeah, I've never heard
No,
wedge
it's a
before.
wedge.
Never heard that.
I called it subs growing up.
Sub and hero is okay. Like I won't make fun of you for saying that, but it's a wedge.
Yeah, I said sub or hero. But to answer the question, I like a good meatball parm.
Oh,
Classic.
can't go wrong.
I see. I'm stuck on this naming convention thing. I feel like if you call it anything but a sub, to my upstate New York mind, sounds like you're trying too hard. But I might have to start calling it a wedge because I'm kind of digging that.
Yeah.
When you said wedge, I thought that was a particular sandwich that
Yeah.
you liked.
I'm thinking like a turkey club would technically count as a wedge because of the way it's cut. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
That's where I'm
You're
thinking.
getting really technical here.
Yeah, I'm really getting down to the brass tacks of it all, if you will. Maybe reading into it too much, some might say.
Things.
Well,
What
All right,
wedge
it's a
do you
wedge
want,
from now
Jenna?
on.
all right.
I'm sticking to it.
Good. You got it.
We'll do our
I
best.
don't know. Wedges.
Jenna doesn't eat wedges. Okay,
I
too
do,
too
but,
fucking
like,
good for what?
Not enough where I have a favorite.
So we
You
have
already know it's
Oh,
turkey and Swiss.
we have opinions from Australia. It is called a sub there. What the fuck is a hoagie or how do you spell it?
what is a hoggy?
Well, hoagie, no.
So cryptic. Hoagie is what people in the Midwest call subs.
Also like Philly.
Also Philly for some reason. It's the wrong thing to call it. It's a wedge.
All right, I just for my own curiosity, we've been talking about Diet Coke. I call it a soda. They out in the Midwest they call it pop.
Stop.
What do they call it in Australia? Is it soda?
Yeah, what-
Is it soft drink?
It's
Is
gotta be
it
soda.
pop? Because down south, every soda is just called Coke. So like if you go to a restaurant in the South and you ask for a Coke, they're like, okay, yeah, what do you want? Sprite, Coca-Cola.
We got it. It's soft drink.
And that's not wrong.
So yeah, I mean that is
This feels
No.
very clinical.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it feels like very proper. Yeah,
hitting the nail on the
100%.
Yeah.
head.
Yeah.
Guys, I found out why my microphone wasn't working.
It wasn't
You didn't
plugged
turn
in.
it on.
There's a volume
But it
control
was
switch.
working.
No, it was working, but the volume was all the way down.
You gotta be careful on those $20 mics. They have all those hidden settings.
If it makes you feel better, I've done full streams where I've done like a fucking 3-minute intro and I've just been muted the whole time. And then yeah, it feels
That
great.
rocks.
It really it makes you want to live a longer life, you know.
All right, what's our next question here? Taylor. Okay, this is for the folks from Jersey. Taylor ham or pork roll? What do you call it? It's the same thing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I think. What did I call it when I lived near Jersey? I don't remember.
I don't know, but I'm not from Jersey, but Taylor ham is the brand. So like the item is pork roll. Unless you're specifically talking about that brand.
See, I didn't even know
That's how
Taylor
we're-
ham was the brand.
I'm
So
sorry.
this is kind of a Kleenex versus tissue argument here.
I'm sorry.
Exactly.
I'm sorry with Jenna on that one. She's correct.
So it's pork roll.
I think I called it
Yeah, you were
Taylor
talking.
ham. I used to live in New Jersey, and I forget what I called it.
No, it's literally the item versus the actual meal. Yeah, no, you're
Yeah.
right on that. I agree.
So Taylor ham has a monopoly on the pork roll industry. Then
We're really digging into some like really deep conspiracies here. It's happening. I think this is a place we should probably get towards the end of things. Just it's getting late. You've got a child apparently that has to go listen to a lot of power violence
He
before the
does.
night ends.
well, that's how I'm gonna wake him up tomorrow morning.
Yeah. My final question for the two of you, and you don't have to leak it. You know, we might be just like really pressuring you here. When's the tour?
I don't think ever.
Excuse me?
We'll see. We'll see what happens.
We would like to play some new places, but
That
I don't know about a tour.
Yeah, you got to remember we're a new band. Believe it or not, we've only been a band for a year, and we haven't. It hasn't even been a year since we played our first show.
That's crazy.
I would say a big common goal that all of us had for the first year of this band was to play out of state, and that might happen this summer. There might be an out of state show. So that's on it, but there are a lot of places we would love to play. I wouldn't want to say a tour per se, but definitely a weekender, maybe going away on a Saturday, coming back Saturday night, late at night. We got a lot of friends in Philadelphia that want to see us. We want to play Baltimore really bad. We want to play, this one's the pipe dream. If we could play Dirty Dungarees in Ohio, that's the dream. If we could play with any band on Delayed Gratification Records in Ohio, that I would quit making music. I'd be like, I did it.
Can't do that though.
No,
We can't
Yeah,
ever
I'll
have
never
him play
stop.
there.
I'm
'cause
going to
then
be
he's
100 years
quit.
old writing riffs and guitar chords.
Now, I don't know if y'all were to play like upstate and you're like, I don't know, the capital of New York. Would you ever be interested in, I don't know, like hanging on the couch with us, maybe playing a set down in the basement if we had something like that set up in like the next couple months, maybe?
Only if that dead mouse is still there.
Oh, it wouldn't be a hardcore show without a dead mouse. Listen, if I know anything about hardcore, dead rodents are involved in every single show.
That's another reason why we have to have you here. We have to have your boy come clean up the rodents and the insect situation.
Billy, send help.
In the basement while we're playing.
Well, before we go, y'all, any final plugs on your end? I'm gonna pull up some of your stuff right here. I got couple things here, but any things y'all want to plug before you go?
No, just listen to the record. Come to a show. Come learn what hardcore is about. Thanks for having us on. This rocked. It always rocks. I always love being here.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, it was fun, guys.
We're gonna I thought I had the flyer pulled up, but apparently not on that scene. So
we got a show. We could talk about that. I forgot. We might have a show come up beforehand. We're still figuring out our summer. But right now, July 27th is our next gig. We're playing at Bridge and Tunnel Brewery in Queens with Foster Village.
Between You and the Suns return show.
Who's the band? Mercy Wit from Connecticut, and then
Sada.
Yeah, a lot of younger bands that we're playing with. So it's gonna be cool watching these kids do their little cartwheels and flips.
Actually,
age will come for them soon enough.
Yeah, we have that flyer pulled up real quick. Let me just get it for y'all, so all y'all watching at home, either now or later, can take a look at that.
I see. Look, there's a picture of you on the.
There I am.
There, listen. You have to just like dig into the fame. You can't just like, oh, there I am. You're like, no, there I am. You know what I mean?
I'm like the worst person with any of that.
Listen,
like, don't look at me. Don't perceive me.
I see the emotional support mic cord.
Yeah. 90% of the set, I can't break away from it. I just can't.
Listen, everybody has their things. Like, I used to just turn around, not look at the stage at all or at the crowd, and just look at the drummer the entire time. That's a really good habit to have. Everyone's got their fucking things.
What was my habit?
You spit on me a lot more than you needed to.
You keep bringing this up.
I know, because I need somebody to know, and I feel like airing it out now is probably the best way to be. No, your worst habit live, you swung that bass really recklessly and could probably injure a couple people.
Well, I was used to the length of a guitar neck, and then you forced me to play bass.
Forced you. Yeah, that's it. Anyway, so y'all, we're going to take one last look. This is the flyer right here. Show is at Bridge and Tunnel Brewery tomorrow night? Tomorrow's 27th?
No. July 27th.
Oh, this is June.
Yeah, you're mixing up your months, dude.
That's good. That's really good for my just overall state of being.
1 month from tomorrow.
There we go.
Yeah.
So everybody be there. Also, make sure you go check out God's Favorite. This should show up on BANDCAMP. Go give Divine Chaos a spin. Go download Divine Chaos. Give the demo a little download right there. I love the live album too. I checked that out. I'm a big fan of that. That's sick as hell that you guys did that. I want more of that. So please, can we get some more of that going on? I feel like that's.
Well, yeah, we got a bit now, so we got to have a new one.
I feel like, I don't know, just it's a hardcore thing and punk thing. More live albums. I want to see more of them out there. I would love to when we get it built. It's going to take a little while because we're kind of working on like a live. Other than this like audio tree-esque thing we're building in the background here, we're also going to try and start like filming some more shows live. So maybe we'll get something fun like that set up. But yeah, y'all, I don't know if I have anything else. Just make sure you follow God's Favorite on all the socials. Go follow their Bandcamp most importantly, because that's the place where you can support the bands the most directly. Your money's going to go to the most of the bands, any local band there.
Yes, sir.
Definitely check them out on Spotify, Apple Music, and wherever they're available. And let's just switch back. And really, y'all, just want to say that y'all have been an absolute delight. This has been so much fun. Thank you for being our special guest on the return of the Root Canal Records routine checkup. We will support God's Favorite till the end of time. And yeah, we love y'all. You've been incredible. Seriously. We hope to have y'all on again soon. And yeah, that's about it for me.
Yeah, thank you guys. This was a ton of fun. Really good to see both of you. It's been a very long time since I've seen either of you in person. So until that happens again, this is what we got. And yeah, love your stuff and can't wait to see you live. Kisses.
I thought it cut out. Sure. Anyway, just before y'all go to everybody watching at home, please, if you haven't followed us on Twitch, do so. Go check us out on Patreon. There's a free tier. It's free to follow. Follow us on our socials. You can get the ad-free podcast that way. Make sure you follow our musical producer over here on RyanGregPhotography.com. Is it .org or .com? .edu right now?
.com.
Incredible photographer.
I dabble.
He dabbles. It's just a hobby. And yeah, for y'all hanging, stick around because I'm going to be in about 15 minutes streaming Death Stranding 2, all for St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. I'm going to kick Ryan out. I've been trying to get him to go since he got here. He's overstayed his welcome. It's getting very uncomfortable. But yeah.
I'll leave you with a swarm of flies.
Oh, yeah, maybe a mouse will get me while we're doing that. But anyway, love you too. Go fucking check out God's Favorite, everybody. That's about it. This has been the Root Canal Records routine checkup. And remember,
Good night.
kick him in the gosh dang teeth. Bye-bye.